We challenged record high temperatures today, and we're not going to cool down all that much as we head into the night. Overnight lows in the mid to at times upper 20s under what we could call partly to mostly clear skies. A few more clouds for your day on Wednesday, not as unseasonably warm. East River, at least to the west. I do think we get in on another day where we make a run at least into the 50s in several locations. A few more of those unseasonably warm days, though, are on the way. We'll talk about that coming up. And until then, First at 4 starts right now.
Live from Kiloland Media Group. Kiloland News, first at 4.
Coming up, we're going to take you to Hamlin County, where strong winds pushed a fire into town.
Plus, what's next for an Iowa pallet business following a massive fire?
And we're going to take a look at Kristi Noem's new role as Secretary of Homeland Security. Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Don Jorgensen.
And I'm Kelly Volk. By this time tomorrow, we should know the name of South Dakota's new lieutenant governor. That's according to Governor Larry Roden, who spoke to a joint session of South Dakota's legislature today. He told lawmakers he's looking for someone both loyal and honest.
He plans to make that announcement tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Central Time. We're going to take a closer look at the rest of his speech in just the next half hour. South Dakota's former governor was also at the podium today. Kristi Noem had the opportunity to speak with the members of her new staff at the Department of Homeland Security, and representing her South Dakota roots, country music played as she took the stage.
Good afternoon. It's good to see all of you. Go ahead and be seated.
Noem told her new staff about her background in both business and government. She promised to do everything that she can to give workers everything they need to do their jobs. Today's speech came just hours after Noem posted pictures of her wearing an ICE uniform. She was alongside ICE agents as they made arrests in New York City.
In other news, an Eagle Butte man admits downloading a virtual reality simulation involving a naked child. 24-year-old Mason Benoist has signed federal court documents admitting to downloading child pornography. Court documents say many of the images, including the VR simulation, were computer generated. A plea date has not been scheduled. When he is sentenced, he will face a minimum of 5 years in federal prison. He'll also have to register as a sex offender.
The Brookings County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help in solving an incident at Sioux Valley School. Authorities say that it happened just after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. In an email to parents, the school says that a note referencing an explosive being planted in one of the boys' bathrooms was found. Law enforcement searched the building, but nothing was found. Authorities say that there is no threat at this time. If you have any information, you are asked to call the Brookings County Sheriff's Office or Brookings Area Crime Stoppers.
Well, our warm weather continues today.
It is here, and it feels really nice out there, Adam.
It has felt like we are in spring already, rather than still very much within the dead of winter, where typically we get our coldest average highs and lows across Kiloland. But this was a day where you had to get outside just to enjoy it for yourself. One catch, though, you can kind of see it on our Webster camera. It has been pretty windy today. That camera has been jostled around at times over the course of the day. And it doesn't matter if you're in Webster or if you're in Winter, it has been windy. This weather segment has also been brought to you by the letter W, apparently. 52 northwest wind at 18 miles per hour. We have had plentiful amounts of sunshine as well, which in turn have allowed that temperature to really climb up. If you are in Mobridge today, or if you were over in Marshall, you set a new record high temperature, 53 and 50 respectively. Spencer, that's a tied record high at 56. We're within 1 degree so far in Sioux Falls and Worthington, 54 and 51 respectively. 50 for Pierre, 53 your high so far today in Winter, 54 for Rapid City. But one area in the upper 30s, they are the outliers by a wide margin. 39 up in Harding County toward Buffalo. They're now down to 38. 49 in Aberdeen, as well as Pierre. Brookings sitting at 48. 50 for Worthington and Phillip. Rapid City and Custer following suit out in western portions of South Dakota. But as we go into the day tomorrow, we're going to be talking about a slight cool down. Nothing ridiculous yet. 40s, maybe either side of 50 toward the southern Missouri River Valley for southeastern portions of KILOLAND. Up to the northeast, again, 40s with a light southerly breeze in place and a mix of sun and clouds. But I do think we get in on another unseasonably warm day, especially out west. We'll have that better opportunity to get into the 50s and even in a few areas to the line of 60. But like I said, we do have some colder weather to talk about. We'll talk about when it comes around in your 7-day forecast as we head through the hour.
Thank you, Adam. Well, meanwhile, the Brookings County Sheriff's Office is reminding people to be safe out on the ice after a pickup went through Oak Lake. Authorities say it happened just after 11 o'clock Saturday night. The driver told officials he was going from one fish house to another when he noticed open water ahead of him. He wasn't able to stop the pickup and it went in. The driver was able to get out onto stable ice.
Well, even though it's January, we are seeing some dry conditions here in South Dakota. Officials are reminding people to be safe after a fire in Hamlin County yesterday. The Estelline Fire Department shared these photos of the fire. Officials say that when crews arrived on scene, they found 3 fires spread out over 4 miles. Authorities say that the flames moved quickly with the high winds pushing them into the town of Dempster. Crews from Castlewood, Haytie, Lake Norden, and Toronto were called in to help fight the fire.
A massive fire burned through a pallet business in west central Iowa over the weekend. 100 volunteer firefighters from nearly a dozen departments were called in to help put out the fire. Marcus McIntosh with our CBS affiliate in Des Moines went to the town of Manning, where crews are now cleaning up.
A building full of wooden pallets catches fire, sending intense flames shooting high into the sky and smoke everywhere.
Some of those flames were 25, 30 feet high after it got fully engulfed.
Todd Statlander is president of the Manning Fire Department. He, like many others, got the fire call just before 6 Sunday evening, wasting no time responding to the flames, knowing as a volunteer firefighter, this is what you signed up for.
We're on call 24/7, and we're all volunteers, so we all have other occupations that we have to deal with.
He says the owner of the building is important to this town of a little more than 1,100 people.
He makes a big impact on our economy in Manning.
No one was hurt as a result of the fire, and the volunteers were able to keep it from spreading.
We had 10 other departments on their way to help us put out the fire.
The scene is still smoldering, and there are some hot spots, which will not be the only lingering effects of the massive fire.
From our fire hydrants, we drew between 170 and 180,000 gallons of water. So that causes the water, this water supply in the town of Manning maybe to discolor or have some issues here in the next 2 to 3 days.
No one was inside the building when the fire started. The Iowa State Fire Marshal is investigating the cause of the fire.